There, my name's Mr. Hutchison. I'm head of criminology, and I'm just going to go through this short presentation with some additional questions some people have regarding the criminology course, in which you might find helpful. It's important to note that you should read the course specification on the Beacon website for specifics about the course structure. This is supplementary to that information. I'll just say a little bit at this stage about the course overview. So the exam board that we use is the Welsh board, WJEC, and criminology is an applied general. So it's a level 3 diploma in criminology, which is worth the equivalent of one A level, and it's graded like an A level. So the top grade a student can achieve is an A star, then it goes down through an a B, a C, a D, and an E is the lowest pass grade. Anything below that is a grade U. There has been over the years some misconceptions about criminology. It is compatible with all university offers. In the several years that I've been involved in the criminology team and leading the criminology team, we've had students that have gone on to Russell Group universities, London School of Economics, for example, Exeter, Bristol, and so on. The only universities that we haven't had any students go to with criminology are Oxbridge. That's not to say categorically that they don't accept the qualification. That could be the case. I haven't ever investigated. It's not been necessary, but certainly Oxbridge aside, criminology as a course is compatible with all university offers. So why might a student choose to study criminology at level 3? Well, perhaps the most obvious starting point is if they've got an interest in crime or criminal justice, or through their previous studies, maybe in GCSE sociology, for example, any input on how crime is depicted or portrayed in the media. That would be a good starting point. There's lots of very interesting documentaries and television series on the various TV networks, such as Netflix, which have got a strong, in which criminology plays a strong theme. So that can also harness a deeper interest for students to pursue and to gain qualifications with that subject knowledge. Criminology complements some other A-level subjects. So, for example, lots of our students study A-level psychology and criminology. Also, sociology goes very well with criminology. There's some large areas of overlap, and it's increasingly common for lots of our criminology students to also do A-level biology. So the course lends itself neatly with those three, and that's a lot of that is in Unit 2. We explore criminological theory, so we look at causes of criminality, and we look at individualistic, sociological, and biological theories. Also, there's a link to history in the review of historic case studies. So in Unit 3, candidates look at miscarriages of justice, including cases such as Timothy Evans, Stefan Kijko. Also, we look at more recent historic cases of historic significance, so Stephen Lawrence in relation to the police being ineffective in that investigation, and also Damilo Latela and the CPS's role in failing to get a conviction in that case initially. Also, there is a loose link with politics. In Unit 4, candidates learn how laws are passed in the parliamentary process of lawmaking. Also, candidates in Unit 3 explore the Hillsborough disaster and aspects of the government role in the delays in justice in that particular case. So criminology lends itself quite neatly with those subjects. Also, there's a heavy literacy reliance in criminology, so it would go well with English, for example. But certainly, our students have got all sorts of second and third subjects that go alongside criminology. We're quite often asked what our students go on to do, and um, the answer is that they go on to, varied positions. Lots of our students have gone on to join the police, either as PCs, so on the beat. Others have gone through apprenticeships to join the police, including the detective apprenticeships, which Sussex Police offer. Surrey Police have also offered that, and a number of our students have gone through that route. Other students that have recently qualified from the course have gone on to work in the legal sector, not necessarily in criminal law, but they've completed apprenticeships with local law firms. Um, Many of our students go to university and study criminology, and that can be just pure criminology or forensic criminology, or they might major in criminology alongside psychology or law, or any combination of those subjects. And the majority of students go to university to study other degrees which are unrelated to criminology, but good grade in criminology is necessary for them to achieve their university offer. So, they might go and study journalism, for example, or English or psychology, or any other degree that's not associated with criminology, but criminology's played a part in them getting their offer. Another reason young people choose to study criminology at Beacon Academy sixth form is because there's a very good chance they'll get successful outcomes. Um, the criminology department at Beacon has performed very well nationally, and the 2025 results are entirely typical of the type of profile of results that we usually deliver as a department. So our outcomes in 2025 were there for you to see on the screen: 14% A and A stars, 54% A stars to B, 84% of the cohort attained A star to C, and every student passed. And that was a large cohort. 54 students completed the course in 2025. As I say, those are entirely typical results, and the structure of the course enables students to stay across their own progress. So by about Easter time of year one, they'll have an idea of what they've been awarded for their Unit 1 controlled assessment. Then on A-level results day at the end of their first year, they're given confirmation of their Unit 1 and Unit 2 grades, so marks out of 100. So that's a total of mark from out of a total of 200 at the end of year one, which means they know what they've got when they come into the second year of the course. And similarly, the process repeats itself. So at Easter time of the second year, we'll give them an indication of what they've attained in Unit 3's control assessment, and then they'll know 75% of their grade and what's required from the final exam in June of the second year, which helps them strategize their revision, and also gives them a very clear indicator of their likely grade outcome. Hopefully you've found the information on this presentation useful. There's the open day on the 4th of October. We're running taster sessions that following week, and you can always contact me for if you've got any other questions about the course. The syllabus itself, you can get an overview of that on the Beacon website. But just to explain the concept of these 4 units. So students study 4 units, 1 and 2 in year 1 and unit 3 and 4 in year 2. Each of those units is out of 100 marks, which are called UMS. So that means there's a total of 400 marks across the 4 units, and the grade boundaries are there. So it speaks for itself. 160 between 160 and 200 UMS will get a candidate a grade E. 200 to 239 would be a D, etc. The only slight complication is the A star grade. So it's the same number of total marks. So 320 UMS or above will get you an A or an A star. The detailed, which would make it an A star, is an average of 90 UMS in Unit 3 and Unit 4. So it's slightly restricted, and it could be that a candidate who gets a grade A overall may end up with more UMS than a candidate who attains a star. So it's not a perfect system. It's the only slight complication to an otherwise fairly straightforward set of grade boundaries. Unit 1 and Unit 3 are coursework based, and so candidates can work on their assignments and they can take their notes into the controlled assessment, which is an 8-hour assessment in which they respond to an unseen brief and type their notes up in response to that scenario. And then Unit 2 and Unit 4, they're the summer exams, so May of Year 12 and June of Year 13. Those are 1.5 hour exams, so it's one paper, 90 minutes, 75 marks, and all of which are added together, those UMS from those 4 units, to give the candidate the overall number of UMS, which will then correlate to the final grade outcome. So that's how the grades are awarded for the criminology course. Many thanks for your time. Hopefully this presentation has been useful. This course, as things stand, there's set to be an announcement at the end of this calendar year, so December 2025, where the government are likely to announce whether the course is going to be extended into September 2027 starters and beyond. There may be some changes to the course, which obviously we'll announce this time next year. So as far as things stand at the moment, this is the structure of the course for September 2026 starters. Beyond that, it remains unknown at this stage, but we will share information as soon as we have it, and we will alter the presentation if there are changes to the course moving forward. Many thanks for your time. I hope this has been helpful.